Hi guys, welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 215, a birthday edition of the stream. Yes, it is my birthday. Thank you all for tuning in, thank you for watching. Now, if you're catching the stream live, welcome. And if you're catching the replay and have any suggestions for us, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you're thinking. Now, if you want to be up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. And if you want to keep on chatting with us once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. Link is in the description, so it's linked to all the articles that we cover here on the stream. There's no news tonight. There is news. It'll just be 3 articles I'm going to touch on. They're not listed on the description because I'm really not going to go too much into detail. I'm just going to look at the topics and really just discuss them briefly. It's mainly going to be a technicals edition of the stream. Sorry about being late. Again, it was my birthday. I was celebrating with my family in my house, my wife, kids. And, I was enjoying a couple cups of wine with my wife prior to the stream. And, just having a good time. So thank you all for being here again. Thank you for joining me tonight for this awesome birthday edition of the State of Crypto. I hope you are all having a great time this Thursday night. Again, thank you for joining us, right? Let's jump onto the actual news, right? And I'm gonna look here really quick on the side. I just want to, because I just put all this little stuff popping up here, right? You're not able to see my hand, but the balloons that are right here, the confetti that's over there, the crown over there, and the balloons on that other corner down there. Anyways, I'm trying to gauge where my bearings are as I'm looking here on the tiny monitor screen. Because, well, I do have a monitor to keep track of what's going on in the stream. Anyways, like I said, welcome to State of Crypto. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's look at what's happening with the market, right? Cheers, guys, by the way. So, yes, I'm enjoying a nice whiskey now. The water of life. Yes, indeed. So, what's happening tonight with the cryptosphere? Actually, we do have news. So I'll touch the titles real quick and then I'll jump on something, right? This one, it says, from the Bitcoinist, diamonds are forever. Bitcoin and XRP just formed an ultra rare bottom pattern. Yay! Not really. I mean, diamond bottoms, we've seen them before, right? They're calling for a diamond bottom starting on 2020. So prior to that, and then going to today, and then a sort of diamond bottom. I don't believe you have the right touch points, right? It's not touching down here. They're just using this as a guide, and they're really not using the bottom part as a real touch point on this chart. So be aware when you guys read what you're looking at, right? They're also calling for a diamond bottom here. Here we do have touch points, at least one here, and then top and top, right? But the bottom line should have been going like this, right? Not like the way they had it here. It's not really a diamond bottom. They're trying to make it look like a diamond bottom. We did have a diamond bottom before on XRP, and we do have that chart, right? I do believe it might be this one. I know I have it in one of the charts. Unfortunately, that diamond bottom that we had did not play out. We did end up breaking that diamond bottom opposite to where we wanted it to break, right? And let me just make sure, because I'm positive I have it in XRP. Am I on the daily? Yeah. Was it on the weekly that I had that diamond bottom? I can't remember. Here it is. Diamond bottom, right, on this chart. Remember, it was back on like August to December, right? And this was a diamond bottom. See how I have the touch points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Making the line on the top, line here, and line here, right? We have talked about diamond bottoms before, and again, this article is mentioning a diamond bottom, but it's really not a diamond bottom. Their touch point should have been from here to here, right? At least from here to here on a straight line. From here to here on a straight line. So it's really not a diamond bottom that they're talking about. They just want to make it look like a diamond bottom. Just be careful when you guys read stuff, right? Make sure if you don't know, go and look it up properly and make sure you're doing your own research. At least you can find diamond bottom examples on the internet. And this is really not it, right? Again, fake article, right? Anyways, next one. Santander's PagoFX Live does not use Ripple for now. This is from XRP Arcade. It really sucks that they're not using Ripple. They're just running PagoFX throughout their own network. Would it be better if Santander was using it? Yeah. Unfortunately, they're not, right? This other one. from CCG Cryptocurrency Guide, right? So the king of copy, Binance cheated again. Now they're accusing Binance of copying bid offers, right? Basically, app and text and some basically some of the features that it shows, right? So again, it's an article that they're saying, look, Binance is copying again, and does it really matter if they're copying? They're coming out with an option or a product that people want. If they copy it and they can have the best results, I don't believe they can make it that much difference, right? A trading site, they're all gonna look the same. You're gonna have charts, you're gonna have your market orders, your limit orders, etc. So again, how much can you really copy, or how much can you do without saying it's copying, right? That's something that's really worrying me here. They're just out for Binance, right? It looks like people are on a witch hunt and they're out for blood. They're copying, yeah. So I mean, who cares? Product is the same. Anyways, let's go on to the market. That's it. That's all I was gonna touch on the news real quick, right? So what's happening? Yesterday we did manage to get above again the 20 simple moving average. Still tightness of the Bollinger Bands, rejecting, right, getting back into that channel. We didn't even get that high, and we're still below that. So yesterday, money flowing into a cryptosphere, 14.46 billion, a lot of dough, right? A 7% move. Today's moving down 0.73% right now, $1.47 billion, and that's fine. Bitcoin dominance yesterday lost dominance, lost 0.29%. Today it's sitting at zero, so not moving much, sitting at 65.08% of market cap. Now the price of Bitcoin sitting at $7,064.47. Am I worried about that? Not really. Did I see this move coming? Yeah, we kind of talked about it yesterday. I was expecting for this to go down a little bit more, if you remember, on the 1 hour. I'm talking about maybe getting another movement down. I did say we had bullish divergence. It could be enough for this to rally, but I was expecting another movement down before it went up. We did talk about potentially breaking above the 20, and if we did, we could see higher prices, and that's something that did happen. Am I going in yet? No, my entry point is at 7,500, right? I talk about maybe changing that. I haven't yet, and I'm okay with that. We did manage to go higher, find resistance at 7,200. Moving down from there, right? 7,200, that would be this line here. Then moving down right now, seems like we're holding support at 7,075, and that's where we're at. Again, above the 20, and that's fine, but still below 200. It's starting to make positive momentum, and we said we could do that, right? We're going to neutral. We said we could go positive. I think we were making slight negative by the time we were doing this yesterday. Happy birthday, just tipped $40. Wow, awesome, man. Fuck, I'm not sure who you are, but thanks for that amazing tip, man. It just says happy birthday. It didn't say the name. That is awesome, man. That's insane. Thank you. I wish you would say who was this, but thanks for that amazing tip. It means a lot, man. Really. Thank you. Cheers. Like I said, we're going to just move to the upside, right? So again, starting to move down, about to head for that 20 if we break below 7,075, which is a part where we're sitting at, right? We're sitting at 7,065, $10 below, and really that's pretty cool. Again, sitting neutral on the other side, 52.63, 52.98, sorry, right? And that's where we're at. Awesome, man. That's so amazing. Thanks for that tip, for reals. Yeah, thanks. Now I'm curious about whose happy birthday. But thank you so much. Anyways, let's see where we're at. Like I said, neutral, right on the RSI. Positive momentum still building. Managed to move to the upside. We kind of talked about that. We knew we had divergence. We could get it. We didn't have anything in the 4 hours, right? We're going lower with more negative momentum and lower on that RSI. We knew we could go up on the 1 hour. Right now, we're not doing much. Again, we're going higher, right, than our previous high. That would be this island. We're going higher again. Found resistance up here. With more positive momentum and higher on the RSI. So again, all that is good on the 4 hours. Sitting neutral on the RSI at 59.21. Now let's go to the 1 hour chart. On the 1 hour, we had this divergence. That's the last thing we called. And I'm going to go on to this chart because you'll see this blue line. And that is a blue line that I left yesterday. And that I told you guys I wasn't sure that we're going to get that move. We had the divergence. We knew we were going to see a movement to the upside. We knew we were going to phase the 20, which we did, and we rejected. But on the next candle, we gapped up and really had that impulse, and that was by 2 in the morning. And we knew that was a possibility, right? I left this because I said, look, what I would like to see, I didn't say that was what the market was going to do. I said what I would like to see is for this to go slightly lower, create divergence, and also have it on the RSI. But then I went and said, but we have bullish divergence, and there's a chance we could rally from there, get above the 20, and run from there. And that is precisely what we did. So I want to get rid of this. I do have this across the charts because that was a movement I was expecting to happen across the market. It would seem like it would make sense. It didn't happen. It played out the other way we were seeing it, right, of the divergence just running. The other coins, the other alts don't have this. The other alts are just running off the other alts are just running off Bitcoin's moves because the other ones didn't have this bullish divergence, right? Now, going higher, then we went slightly higher high, right, from here to here, and that happened to a couple hours ago, at least 5 p.m. Was I looking at the charts? Not really, man. I wasn't looking at the market today. I did manage to see it went up. Again, I was expecting it. Didn't near my entry point, so again, not much until I get my alert going on that says we're nearing my entry. I'm going to start looking at the market again on a daily basis throughout the day, let's say. I do look at this on a daily basis with you, but I'm not like looking at it every hour because, again, I'm not near my entry. So what we're seeing here is strong bearish divergence happening against the MACD and the RSI. We're getting that move to the downside. We're facing the 20 and we're holding it as support. And that's something that we know happens. If we manage to hold this as support, we're probably going to see another bounce. We're starting to get contraction on the Bollinger Bands after this nice expansion. Remember here how we said we had expansion and we could get volatility in the market? And we could expect wild moves? That was yesterday. We got a wild move to the upside right after this move to the downside. So again, very nice. Again, we're starting to get tightness, starting to lose that volatility. Movements might get a little bit more constricted throughout the day. Anyways, negative momentum starting to build. Neutral on the RSI at 55.80. Again, 6 guys tuned in. Thank you all for being here. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are amazing, for reals. If you like what we do, you're not going to be able to see all these things properly because I do have those balloons that are going to be messing with the stream. Sorry about that, though. I really didn't think about this when I was putting the balloons there. I didn't think they were going to mess with this too much, but thanks for being here, y'all. Again, facing 20, we'll see what happens. If we're right below 20, we could look for lower prices. Anything we do will make more negative momentum, and then we're going to create hidden bullish divergence that could mean price continuation to the upside. Unless we manage to hold this, go higher again, and then break from there, right? Those are things that could happen. Let me play something else, right? Because Spotify is coming in with ads. Let's play this one. This might be good. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. So that's gonna be it for Bitcoin. I'm gonna move on to Ethereum, and we'll check that out, right? What is happening with Ethereum dominance on the daily? Because we're looking at them the 1 hour. We gained a lot of dominance, 4.87% right now, losing 0.11, sitting at 9.50% of market cap. The price of Ethereum at $171.08. Very, very nice gains. Again, Ethereum gained like a champ, 12%. Gaining much more than Bitcoin, almost doubling Bitcoin gains. I think Bitcoin was around 7. Yeah, 7.37. And Ethereum is going up by 12%, right? So 5% more than Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin really playing like a champ. Thank you, man. Bitcoin Jake just tipped $1. Thanks, Bitcoin Jake. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for that amazing tip, bro. That means a lot to me, man. Cheers, man. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. Again, y'all, Bitcoin Jake's in the house. If you haven't seen his game, his Minecraft mod game, go check it out. I do believe maintenance is done, so yeah. Oh, you tipped the first one, man? Did you send the first tip or the second one only? Because someone sent a $40 tip, and I'm not sure who tipped that. Oh, it wasn't you. Damn. Well, thanks for whoever tipped that $40 also, man. Yeah, I'm astounded by that. But thanks, Bitcoin Jake. Whoever tipped that $40, I think gained top tipper or highest donation, by the way. So that's pretty cool, man. The last one I think was from December 24th, like Christmas. Yeah, awesome. Anyways, thank you guys, man. Amazing. Let's look at Ethereum, right? Price up to the upside again. We moved back to the range that we said we could go, right? 193.56 to 159. We haven't talked about this range in a while. We did talk about resistance to the upside. SAT, Purse, IO dissolved. Sorry, man. What do you mean SAT Purse? Do explain that, by the way. Again, going up, still lower than our previous high, less positive momentum, and lower also on the RSI. Something that could happen here, we could go slightly higher, right? And then we could start targeting strong bearish divergence. That would mean price action to the downside. That's something that we would have to look out for, right? That would mean the price would go higher and would still manage to be lower, right? It will take a lot of price action for this to go much higher and for this to come to the same level and at least equalize it, but still have divergence and then go slightly higher to negate it. Right, that's something that you have to check out when we're talking about bearish divergence, right? Right now, we're probably targeting that bearish divergence. Today, I'm not sure what's going to happen today. Like I said, we're getting a lot of indecision in the market, right? A lot of do's and undo's and redo's and undo's, and that's happening across the market. Purse.io, you could buy things on Amazon with Bitcoin. They announced that they're dissolving the company today. Wow, that sucks, man. I haven't looked at that. To be honest, I didn't look at that many news today. I just looked at like 3 articles. Mainly because I was with my family, right? I finished work. I'm doing home office, so I was doing work at home, and then had dinner with the family, had cake, and then had one with my wife, and like had a nice chat, and now I'm here. So yeah, I'm enjoying the family, right? But no, I didn't look at the news today. I just found like 3 cool articles. Anyways, like I said. Looking at this, neutral on their side, we could still go slightly higher, again, create that divergence against the MACD, and maybe target lower prices. But again, we're moving up to this range. We're not getting surprise moves. We're targeting ranges that we know are possible. We're not getting like anything that's like going up to 251 on a day where we could say, man, we weren't really seeing that movement coming. We know there's plateaus to the upside. We know there's targets. We know there's entry points, areas of value that we could be possibly trying to get in. Here, look what happened. We bounced at the 20 on the daily. We know it's an area where we can bounce or reject and go for lower prices, and we managed to use it as a bounce. A good indicator is you start to see this go up. You see phase this old support that became resistance, and then if you see it break that resistance and this resistance at 159, then you're probably targeting still higher prices, even though you would have more immediate resistance coming in here with the with the fibs at 165. But again, you could move back up in this area, and your top targets now would be 189 to 193, right? That would be a resistance that we have, and I think it's a 50% retrace. Yeah, 50% retrace that we'll be targeting, right? So again, we know there's areas where we can look for value and entry points. Again, like I said, I might be looking to get into Ethereum. I haven't found a good area of value to get in. 12% yesterday would have been good. I'm not saying it's bad. But I wasn't sure we were going to get this move, right? Fatty, man, how's it going, man? Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, thanks for the congratulations. I appreciate it. Cheers, man. And again, like I said, man, I was expecting the market to come down a little bit more before we got a bounce. You can see this blue line. It's from the 1-hour chart. I'm going to delete that once we get there. What's happening here? We had divergence, right? We talked about this divergence yesterday. Price action to the upside on Ethereum, and we got it. And I said this could affect Bitcoin possibly because we were seeing this repeat in other charts. Now we did manage to move to the upside on Bitcoin. We had divergence. We don't have anything here on the 4-hour, by the way. We're higher, more positive momentum, higher on the RSI, sitting bought at 64.53. So I'm gonna move on to the 1-hour, right? Because there's nothing here. I'm gonna talk about the same stuff that I talked here. Here on Bitcoin, we had divergence, right? And I talked about that on Bitcoin on this chart, right? We had this divergence. We called out. Right, this one showing up right now, and then I had this blue line said this is what I'm expecting to happen. I said, look, it wouldn't be weird that this just goes up, faces resistance, and if we get above it, we're gonna get that move to the upside. That is precisely what happened. It was one of the possibilities for me. What I was expecting and what I was wanting to see here Don't we have that ability to drop back down? Yes, we could still drop back down. We're creating bearish divergence, or we're waiting for that bearish divergence, right? What I was expecting to see was this move to the downside, right? Slight, not too much, but creating that bullish divergence again, at least on the alts, because the alts don't have it, right? They're pumping because Bitcoin pumped, and we had it on the 4 hours on Ethereum. But again, I was expecting to see this slight move to the downside, right? Creating that bullish divergence that would get us to pump, and we didn't get it though. And again, that's what I would have liked to see. And you could say it's hopeful or wishful thinking, but again, we're trying to interpret what the market might do. And that was my take on what could have happened, because we were seeing indecision, right? Particularly with Bitcoin. We had this movement to the downside. We were starting to rally, but the rally wasn't looking too strong. We were starting to get some pullback. And then we weren't sure. I think we were here at 10 p.m. This one. We weren't even doing the 11 p.m. And when we opened 11, we were starting to go up a little bit more. And that's where we left the stream. So again, like I said, look, there's a chance this could happen, right? We could go down. But I did say if we go to the 20 and we get above it, there's a big chance we can use this trampoline and go higher. And that's on yesterday's stream. You can go look at it from on the videos, right? And you can look at the analysis for Bitcoin. I talk about potentially getting higher prices. And we did rally, and I also talk about possibilities to the downside. When Fatty was asking about possibilities to the downside, fuck, what did I do? There we go. We did talk about potentially retracing all the way down here to 5,000s, and even at some point in time, even 4,800s. And that was because we were targeting a double bottom, but that's a big move to the downside still. 5,000s are still within the realm of possibility. Right now what I'm looking at is on Bitcoin particularly, because it's the one that's developing it strongly, because we can anchor it to a positive momentum, a lower positive momentum. It is a bearish divergence, and it's moving us down, but we're facing the 20 and we're using it as support. That could mean that we might try to bounce again and maybe create a little bit more divergence before we actually break down. We're facing resistance again overhead, right? The 50%, I think that's what we're hitting. Yeah, 7,181. We also have resistances on this other chart. We have resistances on this other chart at 7,200 and 7,075. I would say if we're stay below 7,200, we could potentially see lower prices. But as you can tell, man, we're within this range. Right? We have been more or less within this range of... this is too low, though, for the range. But I would definitely call it here at the 618 on this chart. That would be 6,439. As you can see, we've been within this area for a while. And the 7,200, right? Because we just broke above it slightly. And then we broke back into this channel, right? So we could say even we're trading between 5,692, that is this low here, and this high here, right? So again, we're kind of range bound in that area. Here we got a nice bounce off the 618 of this chart, right? Which was targeting the high of this candle to the lowest point of that candle. Right, on the daily. I'll show this on the daily, because that's where we're going to appreciate it a little bit more. I just have too much stuff going on in this chart. It's cluttered. But it's the height of this candle, right? This red candle, and the bottom part, the wick of this green candle. That's what I was targeting for my fibs. And we bounced right off the 618 at 6,434. We actually bounced. The lowest point was 6,456. So very, very close to our area that we were targeting as a bounce. Now... sorry if I left Ethereum for a second, guys. I just want to talk about this, about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the one that's leading the market. So again, like I said, getting above the 20 could imply price action to the upside. We're hitting a resistance at 7,200. We know it's there. We have not been able to break it in the past, in the immediate past. And like I said, we're facing the 20. We could still manage to go slightly higher again and create divergence. But like I said, if we go lower from here, we're going to make more negative momentum, and then we're going to create a hidden bullish against the MACD. And that would imply or mean potential price continuation, and we might get a small bounce happening. And that could have us retest at 20. Again, the market is showing a bit of indecision, like I said. A lot of undos and redos, right? High, low, high, low, low, high. You know, we're undoing a lot of movements. So again, a lot of indecision happening. Really not clear where we're going to go. That's why I'm targeting downside and upside. Yes, it is possible that we go lower. But COVID and the effects that it's having on the economies and how it's impacting the whole world, it's having unprecedented impacts on all the markets, not just crypto, right? We're seeing oil being affected. We're seeing gold and silver be affected. We're seeing stocks being affected. So again, a lot of markets are being affected by COVID-19. I'm living in Mexico right now, and they just said that they're going to extend the quarantine or the social distancing until the end of March right now. So 30 more days they're adding, right? The first target was ending it at March 30th. Now we're talking about, April 30th. We're talking about now May 31st, man. They're adding 30 more days. It's insane. It's still going to keep on affecting other economies. We still have to see how much more impact this is going to have. And again, this is going to impact, and that's going to give that instability to crypto. It is a high-risk asset, and people during times of unrest, let's say, or depression or recessions, or however you want to call what's going on with the market, all this instability, people want to have security. And crypto is one of the riskiest assets there is. It could be affected to the downside. Do remember, we have the Bitcoin halving event coming in, and that could potentially have a price increase on Bitcoin to where we start to see this price go up before we see it go down, right? Because there's going to be a lot of speculation and expectation as to what might happen with the halving. But all these things surrounding COVID and all this uncertainty in the market is probably going to be putting downwards pressure on crypto, because people are risk averse. So they want to have cash on hand. They want to be liquid to be able to front and face whatever is happening with their lives, right? You still have responsibilities that have to be paid in fiat, like rent, mortgages, etc., credits, salaries if you have employees. So again, there's stuff you have to do that really you can't get rid of. That wants to have people be liquid, and some people be risk averse. It just depends. Again, that's what we're probably seeing, all these bounces of up and down. Even though you could say in the major part, we're still within a sort of uptrend, right? We haven't quite broken it. We could, I'll just make this one real quick here. We could trace something like that and say we're still within an uptrend. And I'm gonna ignore that large wick here and say we're still within an up-ish trend, right? So again, I just wanted to show that, talk about that we're in an uptrend. The movement to downside we saw, it didn't quite break it, right? So it did break us out of a support that we had, but didn't break us out of the uptrend, right? We're still in an uptrend. Anyways, let me go back to Ethereum on the 1 hour. That's what I was doing, because I didn't finish calling this one out. Right, we're going to a higher high with less positive momentum. Oh, Spotify ads again. So again, this divergence still showing up, right? We can see it across MACD, RSI, strong bearish price action to the downside, breaking below the 20. Look at what happened here, right? We closed here, we gapped up, right? Because we opened here, and then we're moving down. We're rejecting the 20 on Ethereum, so we're looking for lower prices right now. Lower prices would certainly see us hit the 382 at $165, and then if we break that, we're moving back down to $159, and maybe down to this range of 121 if we don't manage to hold this area. Neutral on the RSI at 56.14. That's it for Ethereum. I'm going to move on to XRP. XRP, one of the assets that is not really performing the best, man, and it's painful because it's one of the ones that has the most use cases. Again, yesterday we rejected 20, moving lower, losing 1.89% of market cap. Today, moving down 0.84%, sitting at 4.16% of market cap. Let's see, sitting at 4.16% of market cap. XRP sitting at 18 cents, 18.730 cents. Yesterday, it didn't gain that much, 5%. Even Ethereum gained a lot more. Still within this area of support resistance, right? This yellowish triangle that I have here. We broke below 20. We managed to get above it. Right now, we're moving down. We're probably going to face it, but we rejected this area, right? 19,440. We know it was here. We've had it here for a while, so we know it was a resistance. We didn't even face 19,758. So again, we talked about this being a resistance, potentially area for rejection. You need to see 11 cents again? Yes, I would love to see 11 cents again, man. I would love to get in a little bit more at 11 cents for a trading setup that I have. Anyways, high, lower high, less positive momentum, lower on that RSI, neutral at 50.97. Not much happening on the daily. Everything that's playing on the markets is of the shorter term. All right, we had divergence, bullish action to the upside. We saw this coming, moving down. We don't have divergence here. This is 58. This is 65. Again, lower low, more negative momentum, lower on that RSI, getting the bounce because Bitcoin bounced. When is the halving? The halving is in May. I don't have the exact date for that, but if you give me a second, I'll tell you that. It's sometime in May. That's what it says. Sometime in May. Rewards will be halved by 12 from 12.5 to 6.25 Bitcoin. Right. That is the target date. Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. We might see a surge, but again, there's a lot of other factors that could imply price action to the downside, right? Particularly instability in the markets and people being risk averse. So again, that's why we're seeing this like probably fluctuations where we see price go up. Some people might get scared and then they start selling, and then you have the price go down again. And then some people say it's too low, they want to buy again because the halving is coming. And then some other people might say, man, it's too risky, and they get out. And then we're starting to see these bounces, right? These bounces within the range that we were kind of talking about. I am expecting the price to go up, right? It usually happens. People get excited. We see a lot of speculation happening. And then after the halving, sometimes we see the price drop, but it's still yet to be determined, right? Anyways, sorry. Again, nothing happening here. We're bouncing because Bitcoin bounced. We're going to a slightly higher high with more positive momentum, higher on the RSI, neutral at 49.53. Again, the 4 hours not being a good indicator. Same stuff that I said I had across the market, right? Waiting for this movement. It didn't quite happen. Sorry. Kind of touched where I wanted it to touch, more or less. But we didn't get that move down, right? Again, I wanted to get that move down for us to call divergence and then get this move to the upside. We did get close to 20. We bounced, but again, because Bitcoin bounced, because we're going from a low to a lower low with more negative momentum and a lower on that RSI, right? But again, this is happening across the markets, right? We're seeing this move of low to higher high on the price. And us going from a high to a lower point on the MACD and also on the RSI, even though it's slight. But we're getting this bearish divergence, price action to the downside. We're moving down. Again, move up, rejected at 20, and then moving farther down. Tightness of the Bollinger Bands. Suggesting volatility is leaving the market, but I'm not sure how wild of a move we're going to get. The wild move, if you recall on Bitcoin, I said, look, we're getting expanded. We could get wild moves in the market. We were down here on Bitcoin also. And then we got the wild move to the upside, right? When volatility leaves the market, when volatility is in the market, we can expect wild swings. We don't always get them, but they can be expected. Right now, we're getting tightness, so movements tend to be a little bit more constrained into a lower portion of the market, right? When we get constriction, this is what I'm talking about. Look, wild swing to the downside, slight wild swing to the upside, then moving to the downside again, and then we start range, right? And then we get tightness again happening, and then we get explosion of the Bollinger Bands, and then we get this area where we can get the wild swings again, right? We hope they can start using XRP for its actual functionality, the best use case. Yes, I agree. I do hope they start using XRP for its actual use case and functionality, which is cross-border payments and remittances, and just facilitating even movement of money around the world. It just comes to like adoption, man. If the banks don't adopt it, if they can't see the value, if they think they can replicate it for cheaper, that's when we're getting into trouble. If they do, Bitcoin price won't matter anymore. Yeah, because, yeah, I mean, it won't matter. It will matter, right? Bitcoin is still there. It's the OG. It'll still have some impact. But think about it. You want to send money with Bitcoin. There's been transactions of billions of dollars being done with Bitcoin. People, I think I saw one that was like $40 billion, and they paid like $1.96. and it happening like maybe let's say 2 or 3 hours, right? It's still much faster than Swift today. Is Ripple faster? Yeah. Our transaction, can you make more transactions on Ripple, on XRP, than you can on Bitcoin? Yeah, you can. But are you saving that much? If you're sending $40 billion or $40 million or millions of dollars, and you pay $1.50 or you pay 2 cents for the amount of money that you're sending, that is like not even peanuts, man. That's like sand. It doesn't really matter. That amount of money that you're paying percentage-wise is negligible for the amount of money that you're sending. And if it takes 30 minutes or an hour and a half or 3 hours or even half a day versus a couple of seconds against what it takes today, it's still negligible, right? So it would still have use. Some people might still use it. But until Bitcoin is the new norm and the new fast, then you're going to look for the fastest fast, right? And then the cheapest way. But again, it's still cheap. If you send 40 millions and you pay $1.50 or you pay 2 cents, you're paying peanuts, right? Or even a fraction of a cent, you're still paying peanuts. You're paying nothing, man. For 40 million, like $1.50 doesn't count, man. It's you won't see it, man. It's nothing, right? That's why I'm saying I'm not against XRP. I do believe it's a better asset than Bitcoin. And I want to make that clear. I do believe it's a better asset. It has a faster transaction time, or faster transition time of money, and a lower rate. Yes, it does. But again, right now, and where things are in the market and how things happen in the world, both options are extremely better than using Swift. And both options are better than using any kind of transfer method that is out there right now, right? Both serve the same purpose. They're both much faster. They're both cheaper. Yes, Ripple is much faster and much cheaper, but when you're talking about millions, it really, and days versus hours, it's really, we're not talking about that much difference, right? For those people that used to wait days, having it in an hour against having it in seconds, for them it's all the same, right? You're not even exposed to that much volatility in the market on exchange rate, right? Against, let's say, dollar to whatever currency you're converting it to. Are you exposed to a little bit more on Bitcoin on market movements that could happen? Yes, I do believe so, right? That's what XRP would end up winning, because the time it takes to get to you, it's much faster. So you can get the money and convert it back and really not lose that much money on market fluctuation. But with Bitcoin, even if it takes like a couple hours, by the time you get it and the transaction clears and you have in your account and then you convert it, the price of Bitcoin could have gone up or down, and you could be a little bit more exposed, right? So that's what I'm talking about, right? But again, both right now, I do believe they're viable options for a lot of people. Bitcoin just happens to be a little bit more popular. Again, that's the way I see it, right? Your mileage may vary. Again, you might have a different opinion. Again, I do believe XRP is a better asset, but both of them do serve the purpose. Like I said, I do believe all cryptos have their use, and all cryptos have their each one performs for something, right? Like Ethereum smart contracts. You have XLM, that's also transactions. You have other ones that are for smart contracts like Tron, Cardano, whatever. They will have their uses, and they will all be viable options in the future. Each one, I do believe, is going to be specialized in a field more than other. But again, that's just going to be what crypto is, right? And this will just keep evolving, right? At some point in time, there's going to become someone that is going to happen in like nanoseconds, the transaction, and you're going to be able to do much more transactions than XRP, and then XRP is going to become obsolete, and that's just what happens with technology. I think the difference between security of XRP is better than Bitcoin because there's actual company being held liable for their product. Yes and no, because Ripple says they're not liable for XRP. They're not admitting it, right? That's why it's not a security. They're saying they didn't create it, like it was there, something like that. So like XRP is a company, and Ripple's a company, XRP is the asset. So they're being treated separately. right? That's why when you hold XRP, you're not entitled to anything that Ripple does. You're not owning a piece of share. You're not owning a stake on Ripple. You're just owning a token that they use for a purpose. That's why Ripple's not really going to be held liable for anything that happens with XRP. The only difference that I do see is that Ripple's based on a consensus algorithm, and Bitcoin is based on proof of work. One Bitcoin particularly is subject to a 51% attack, which could happen because I did see an article that I can't remember which Chinese mining company was going to be the majority issuer or holder or miner of Bitcoin by 2021. And that could potentially set up Bitcoin to be subject to 51% attacks by China and negate operations. While Ripple is not going to have that problem ever because it didn't even needs proof of stake. It doesn't need proof of work. It just works on consensus algorithm. So long as all the nodes said that the transaction happened, it did happen. And again, much cheaper. You don't have to stake your coins there or anything for anything to happen. And I do believe that's what's going to be key, man. Not necessarily the fact that the security of XRP is better, yes, because of the consensus algorithm, but not because the company is being held liable, right? Again, I don't believe you can prosecute Ripple for any fault that happens with XRP or a transaction on XRP. Before you go after Ripple, I do believe that you would have to go after an exchange or a wallet or something else, because if you mistype a number in a wallet, then it's your fault. If you send it through the exchange and then something happens with the exchange, then it's the exchange's fault. But you know, it would be hard for you to be able to go after Ripple for something happening with XRP. Unless you're working with a company, like let's say Santander or another bank, MoneyGram, and then you have a problem with them because they were using the Ripple solution, then you might be able to go after Ripple. But even then, I would doubt it. Again, rejecting the 20 with XRP, right? Going lower, as you can tell. Negative momentum starting to build. Lower on that RSI, neutral at 47.74. I'm just going to look at Bitcoin real quick. I do believe we might also be moving lower here. Yeah. Below the 20. Right. I mean, we are creating that bearish divergence. Again, I'll show them this chart. We know it's a possibility. So again, just keep on monitoring. That's what I can tell you. Again, indecision happening on the market. Not really clear as to what it might do. Right, we might move down, get that divergence that I was talking about, that hidden bullish, and get another bounce. You know, it's really not 100% clear right now. Gotta get ready for bed. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. Happy birthday. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for the congratulations again. Having a great time, man. Had a really good day today. But yeah, man, go hit the hay, man. Tomorrow's another day. Markets will be open still tonight, tomorrow. You know, a lot of stuff happening. Litecoin. What's happening with Litecoin, man? Thank you for being here, Fatty, by the way. Yesterday, price action gaining dominance, 0.78%. Today, losing 0.31%. Sitting at 1.37% market cap. The price of Litecoin, $42.07. Again, above the 20, starting to move down, facing it as support. Lower positive momentum, but lower still than the previous one. Lower price, lower positive momentum, lower on that RSI. Neutral at 48.91. Not much happening there. Let's go to the 4 hours. On the 4 hours, we called the divergence yesterday during the stream. Price action to the upside on the 4 hours. Boom. Got that nice rally. Again, high, higher, high, right on the price. Positive momentum, more positive momentum. High on the RSI, higher on the RSI. So we're looking for that congruence in the market, right? Everything is happening as it's supposed to, right? Regular motion. But on the 1 hour, probably facing divergence, and that's what's breaking us down. Above the 20, again, neutral at 52.96 on the RSI. Let's go to the 1 hour. Like I said, everything that's happening on the market, it's on the 1 hour, right? High, higher high. Make sure it's on the 1 hour. It is. High to low. High to low, right? Again, strong bearish divergence, price action to the downside. Held at 20 for 1, 2. Then we broke into the third one. Below it right now, looking for lower prices. Even opening, gapping up, and opening, moving up, rejecting the 20 and gapping down for this hour, right? So again, high, less negative momentum, higher on the RSI, again being congruent, neutral at 51.57. Again, expecting the same thing to happen. Maybe if we move down, creating some kind of hidden bearish against the MACD, right? Going to a higher low and more negative momentum, and then you know, we could look for a retreat there, or potential price action to the upside, right? Let's go to Bitcoin dominance. Sorry, Binance dominance. Yesterday, Binance gained dominance 0.28. Today is losing 1.22, sitting at 1.21% of market cap. The price of Binance, $15.40. Again, man, still moving higher, right? Yesterday, we were up here. It was green. Managed to turn red. Today was green. Again, we're still creating this strong bearish divergence on the daily. Potential price action to the downside. We're starting to get it today. We did hit the 20, and we bounced from it yesterday. So, again, a strong support at the 20. We're starting to channel within the Bollinger Bands, moving up with volatility leaving the market. Neutral on the RSI at 56.13. On the 4 hours, let's see what's happening. Last thing we had was on the 14th was divergence price action to the downside. We got it. This small one is from the 1 hour, and again, for some reason, it's showing up here. I'll just send it there real quick because we're gonna need this green, this yellow line. I'm gonna get rid of the blue one because we're gonna get rid of that. Anyways, price action to the downside. We get a bounce of the 1 hour and above the 20 right now on the 4 hours and holding it. Right, we don't have any kind of divergence building. And neutral on the RSI at 54.51. Let's go to the 1 hour. Alrighty, cool. Like I said, I'm going to get rid of this blue line because we're creating divergence. I was expecting for this to move lower. It obviously didn't happen. Like I explained earlier, that was just my expectation of the market, of what could happen. But we had this divergence, and we talked about it being a strong divergence and potentially moving up. Following Bitcoin moving up, we did use the 2 a.m. candle as support at the 20 and then bouncing higher again. Same stuff that's happening across the market. Higher high. Right? And then going from a high to a lower on the RSI. And a high to a lower high on the RSI. Sorry, on the MACD and on the RSI. Strong bearish divergence. Price action to the downside. Breaking below 20, rejecting 20 and moving lower right now. That's it for Binance. Neutral on the RSI at 49.13. Again, everyone's following Bitcoin. Market is moving in sync. Let's go look at silver. Oh, what did silver do? I believe it might have moved down a little bit, man. Again, it's still trading within its range, right? So again, yesterday it might move up, showing like a spinning top. Today moving down. Like I said, still within this range, $14 to $17. So that's all fine. Create this hidden bearish divergence, potential price action to the downside. We're seeing it, but it's not that strong. We could potentially target the 20, and then if we hit the 20, we could potentially go to 382 at $14.70. Right, that is a possibility. Gold, what's going to happen with gold? We're probably seeing something similar. Again, hit this divergence, strong bearish against the RSI. Starting to move down slowly. Again, we saw the same indecision with gold as we did with silver yesterday. Today, starting to move down. Hitting the 100%, right? We said we could potentially hit the 100%, and so we held it as support. 1,704. We're sitting at 1,706. As you can tell, we did dip below it, and we're still holding it. We talked about that being a possibility. Again, moving to the downside would potentially see us hit the 20, and then we'll potentially hit the 236 at 1,600, right? Those are the targets of gold to the downside. To the upside, we could, if we use that support, then we could target the upside, but I haven't targeted the upside yet. Neutral, bought on the other side, 62.88. Let's look at really quick at the markets. S&P yesterday gained 16 points, not a lot. Nikkei, as you can tell, we didn't even do much, right? 0.58%. Nikkei down to 159 points. Again, on what? Divergence, right? We talked about this. Toronto down 59 points on divergence. We also talked about this. London up 198 points. We did say London had indecision, right? We don't have that clear divergence building. It's just regular motion. We're not seeing what the rest of the market is showing with the London Stock Exchange. Now let's go look at the US 30, man. And the Dow. What happened with the Dow? Went up 33 points, man. Very, very little. And as you can tell, it's still red. Why? Because we probably gapped down. We didn't even move that much. 0.14%. It's negligible. So again, just the market went flat. We did talk about the US 30 and looking at it. Right now, it's up 881 points. Again, tomorrow we could gap up on the opening. Look at this, man. Look at this on the US 30, right? We're looking at price action to the downside. We got it. Right now, we're gapping up. Tomorrow, market Dow could open up, right? If this holds overnight. US 30, again, Dow live, gapping up and moving up. So again, 815 points to the upside. The Dow could open up gapping on tomorrow, and it wouldn't be weird if we see gapping up on the opening and then maybe losing a little bit, right? But still making gains tomorrow. Again, watch out for that. Let's look at oil real quick. Brent. Even though it gapped up and moved down, still managed to close higher than our previous close or previous opening, right, and close. So again, gaining 0.44 at 1.44%, sitting at $31.01. Again, we do have this divergence, right, that's coming in, this hidden bearish. Same stuff happening on this other Brent oil that we have, which is from a US site. Now I'm waiting for it to load. There we go. Again, same movement, right? This hidden bearish price action, again, rejecting the 20. That's what's happening. We moved that, rejected 20. Now let's look at West Texas quickly. What's happening? Same thing, right? This hidden bearish price action to the downside, getting it, not even going to the 20. Tightness of the Bollinger Bands, sitting at $20.71. Even with the OPEP agreement, we're still seeing not real clear what was going to happen here, right? What else? What else? That's it, man. I think we just cover what we usually cover here on the stream. If you guys have any questions, you can put them on the chat. Again, real quick, I'll go back to Bitcoin and figure out, see if we can see anything else, man. But I'm not sure we're gonna get any clearer picture on Bitcoin. I'm waiting for the chart to load. There we go. Waiting for the 11 p.m. or candle to close to 12 to midnight for me. That means I'll turn back into a pumpkin because my birthday's gonna be over. But I'm having a great time being here. Thank you for that anonymous donor that donated for $40. Thank you, Fatty, for the congratulations. And thank you, Bitcoin Jake, for that $1 donation, man. I really appreciate it. You guys are really appreciated by this channel for being here, for showing up and chatting and talking crypto. Let's see Bitcoin on the 1 hour, man. I'm worried that we're not gonna close below the 20. Although right now it's looking like we're gonna close. We still have 5 minutes. We could retrace easily. We're not talking that much money. $36 to 56, like 20 bucks we're talking about, right? 20 bucks away from the 20. It is a quick movement that Bitcoin could do, and close above the 20 wouldn't necessarily be the greatest. Again, we're getting tightness off the Bollinger Bands, volatility leaving the market could potentially mean price action to the downside, right? So I'm waiting for this to close. And then we'd have to watch the 12-hour candle, right? The 0 candle, let's say a new day, to make sure we're still remaining below 20. If we get back above the 20, we're starting to show that indecision still, and we could potentially target higher highs. If we hit the 20 and we reject, then we could be targeting lower lows, right? That's what happens on the market. So again, waiting for this to happen, right, and develop. Still moving down a little bit more, man. Still a little bit farther, about over $30 now. And retracing a bit now. So again, what's happening with you guys? How are you guys coping with COVID-19? What is going on in your lives? Let me know in the chat while I keep on looking at the market. I'm not sure who else is watching, but thank y'all for being here. Again, I really, really appreciate y'all. Don't worry, tomorrow's stream is going to be back to usual. The crown will be gone. The balloons will be gone. They will be popped tonight. And the confetti will also be gone. So, again, things should go back to normal tomorrow on the stream. But again, thank y'all for being here. And waiting on the market to keep on moving. Really, that's all I'm doing. Market motion. Come on. I'm thinking about calling it a stream, man. I'm just curious how they close. We're retracing a little bit, right? Like I said, we could close up still above the 20. And really waiting for that movement to happen. Again, I'm tinkering with my widget. right my Guinness widget on my hand as I wait for the market to close, and you get hypnotized into I'm not sure. Doing something. Believing the market might move strongly in the next hour or so. I'm not sure we're gonna get a strong movement though. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Come on. Is it gonna pull back up above the 20? Will it remain below the 20? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? Oh, man, again, like I said, I'm looking at indecision in the market. I'm not sure. I think we might close below the 20. But look at that pullback we just got. Basically got us to the 20, man. Like, less than $10 away. Less than $10 away from the 20, man. Will it get above? Will it get above? It is at the 20 now. See how things can happen in like seconds with Bitcoin, right? I told you, a $30 move is nothing, man. Comes and goes. We're at the 20. We're $4 away from the 20. $5 away from the 20. Come on, come on. Man, I'm worried, man. I believe we're gonna close below. Again, if we close at the 20, it's gonna be a lot of indecision happening. Area where we could look for higher prices and bounce, right? And it wouldn't be weird, and it would create a new positive momentum island, right? And then potentially target the new divergence that we talked about, right? Going slightly higher and still managing to be lower. And then we could even anchor from up here, because this is all one island, to a new island, right? And then we could also be targeting lower prices on the RSI. Again, careful with this. All right, we're at the 20, close to it. If we close $4 away from the 20, I would call it closing at the 20, even though we're slightly below. It's almost negligible. $4, we're talking about even less than 1%, or less than, yeah. So of course it's even negligible, right? The market seems to be stuck. Not a lot of movement happening, right? Ah, dropped a little bit. Awesome. 44. So $12 away from the 20. 38, 37. Come on, come on. Close market. 32. 30. Man, I feel like it's New Year's, so I'm counting down for the clock. $10. Right, almost. 5. 3. 1. Stayed at 7,004. 7,044. Again, below the 20, right? And we're just opening a new candle neutral. And seems like it wants to move down a little bit, right? It's showing slightly red, even though it's neutral, man. Not a lot of movement happening. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. We gotta wait for Europe to come in at 2 in the morning, and probably start kicking the market into the nuts. Start getting movements in motion. Thank you all for being here, guys. Again, that's gonna be it for tonight. It is midnight for me. I do gotta work tomorrow. Then the weekend is upon us. Finally. Thank you all for being here, guys. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel, for being here for the content, for chatting with me, for bringing content points and things to look at. Bitcoin Jack, I'll certainly look at that Purse.io, that article that you talked about, to see what's happening. Again, guys, this is State of Crypto. I'm your host, Martin. It has been a pleasure being here with you guys tonight, this awesome Thursday night. Yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of State of Crypto. Thank you all the guys that donated. I mean, you guys are amazing. Thank you guys that showed up and wished me happy birthday. You guys are amazing as well. That's going to be it for tonight. Like I said, I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition. Until then, guys, stay safe. I hope your families are safe. And, yeah, I'll see you then.